Holy moly, I'm running late this morning. I really am. Just bear with me, people. Who have we got? We've got nobody. That's fantastic. We need 2 more minutes to get set up. Right. Jeez, the camera's not even level. What's going on? Oh, we've got 2. Good morning, people. How's the camera? I think you need to be a bit further away, don't you? Hang on. I'm running a bit late this morning. Can you tell? Oh, my word. Hang on. Bear with me. I always seem to be way too zoomed in as this camera. What's going on? Look at this. Well, today is the day it's supposed to be getting cut. It's horrendous. I've got to sort my cap out as well. And I've got to sort my YouTube connection out. Chaos reigns. Bear with me. Tell me about your day. What's been going on this last week? What have we got? Have we got internet? Yes, we've got internet. We're halfway there. I'll close that. And no, I didn't turn the air compressor off either. So, Jim K, Andy Watt. I don't know. I think you mean what's up. Well, I'm knackered. I've been working hard again this week. Trying to get all these bloody Vikings done. Sorry, ROVs. Right, YouTube. That's what we're on today, isn't it? YouTube. Oh, it started. All the notifications flood through. Right. Okay, I think.
This is Kyle. He invented one wheel.
I'll be able
to destroy.
I'll be able to see how badly I started this live stream now, won't I? Oh. How's that? I think you're going to do it. I don't know. It's so bloody close. I'll sit further back. Hang on. That's better. I'll just lean forward to the laptop. And I haven't even got the laptop on a box this morning either, so. Right, I need to minimize that. Then I can see. There we are. Look, right. Jim K, Andy Watt. Jim K, been waiting all week, man. It's been a long week. I can tell you that. I haven't even got my coffee. I don't know where Mrs. Mechanic is and what's going on. Ridiculous, really, isn't it? She's still in bed. Chuckwood, chop those locks. Well, today is the day. I don't know if he's going to turn up or not. I've not heard from him, but look at that. That's real wild shit going on there, isn't it? John the Barber, if you're watching this, you shouldn't be. You should be on your bike and getting here to cut my hair, because today was the day we set as Andy's haircut. It's never this long. Honestly, it's like normally it's like I think it's like a grade 2 on top sometimes in the summer. So I've never ever had hair as long as this, and it just does my head in it, literally. So yes, Josh, watch this space. It should be happening very soon. Sorry, Chuckwood, watch this space. Josh Benny, hey Andy, nice to see you after being a while. Hope you're well. I am. I'm pretty good actually. I'm not bad. I'm tired as always. I was in the South Island, as you know, the previous week. Didn't get home till late Saturday night, and I'd actually worked 3 weekend days and bank holidays and stuff. So I clawed all those back in as days in lieu, because I've got a ton of work here to get done. Although I am working my way through it, I'm doing pretty well. I've got another ROV up on the trailer finished. That's the 3rd one done now, full service and repairs and CVT drive rebuilds. And everyone's at a full caliper rebuilds, all the calipers, including the brake caliper, under seal, reapplication. Man, it's been mental. It really has. But the invoices are going out, which is nice, and when they get paid, it'll be even better, won't it? So I've got the 4th one on today. That can't be finished until I get a new muffler for it. So I've ordered that yesterday. I don't know how long that's going to be, because parts supply to New Zealand, as it is probably around the world at the moment, is dramatically reduced. Most freight is sea freight now. There's very little air freight going on. So that might be sat in the garden for some time. Although I have a cunning plan. I might take it back, because they have 2. One's quite new. And I might swap the muffler off the newer ROV, put it on the older one, and then fit the brand new muffler to the new ROV, because then I can get that down here and get servicing it. So I'll have to have a little chat with them, and I need to find out. I won't find out till tomorrow how long that muffler is going to be, and then I can make a decision from there. But swapping it across is a 5-minute job, doesn't take long. Jim K is laughing at me. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate that. Vic Turus 22, bit early for a Sunday morning, isn't it? It's always 8:30. That's the time that live stream starts. It used to be 9 o'clock, and a few viewers said, "Hey Andy, get out of bed a bit earlier, make it 8:30." So I did, and I think we started the live stream at 8:33 this morning. So my apologies and thanks to those that went on the live stream and didn't see anything, because I wasn't there. I was still unpacking the workshop. Connor, good morning, Connor, and apologies for the appearance, Connor. This isn't normal. Hey Andy, I think you came on a bit late today. You're quite correct, I did. I was about to give up and go to the pub and support my local economy. Well, Connor, I wouldn't have blamed you if you'd done that. It's nice to have you on board, by the way. But yes, I was a little bit late. Unfortunately, my Forge clock keeps, it's like a radio, it gets some kind of radio wave to reset itself. And I've noticed around about lunchtime, some days, it goes into like a self reset mode, and the little hands whiz around the face pretty quick. But then when it resets, it always seems to reset about 5 minutes behind real time. So I have a little hunch that maybe I need to tweak the minute hand on the spindle a bit relative to the spindle, because it always throws me, because I look at the clock rather than look at my phone. What an idiot. So anyway, Connor, good job you're on board. Thank you. I'm going to put my cap up a little bit. John Bowie, bring on the Tool Girls. You look like me 2 weeks ago. Get a haircut and you'll feel better. It's planned. John the barber. In fact, let's send him a message, because hopefully he won't be watching this. Let's send John the barber a message and find out if he's actually going to turn up. Where is he? John the barber. There he is. Look. Okay. Good morning, John. Really looking forward to my haircut today. Any idea of your ETA? Oh, cat spell. Cheers, Andy. Right, we'll send that, and we'll find out if John the barber is actually going to turn up, because we did lock today's date in. The plan was, man, I've been working so hard. The plan was to get a tool girl, one of the tool girls, to come down and assist during the haircut, and shave, obviously, and get John to do me a shave as well. And I had tool girl Holly all lined up to come down and assist. Lily was busy, unfortunately. She's doing a photo shoot today, and none of the other tool girls were around. Anyway, about a week ago, tool girl Holly finally got, well, in fact, it was about Tuesday or Wednesday, actually, during the week, she got confirmation that her 21st birthday party at a pub in Auckland could, in fact, go ahead. She'd been putting the day off and off and off, and then she said it for, I think, back end of June was another date that she gave, and I thought, great, we can all do that. And then the pub said, yes, now that we're in lockdown 1, which was decided on the Monday by Jacinda, she could bring the date forward. So she checked with the pub and finally got their act together and got back to her on the Wednesday. And of course, her birthday, 21st birthday party, was last night up in Auckland. And I should have been there. I was invited. I said I would go. And then, unfortunately, I just got bogged down getting these these ROVs done for the surf clubs. I've got deadlines to hit. It's a 3.5-hour drive up to Auckland. I'd have had to stay over, and then try and get back here in the morning to do a live stream would have been impossible. Believe me, after a few pints of cider, it wouldn't have happened. So I had to weigh it all up. I've made my excuse. I've told Holly that I couldn't make it in advance, and I've also told her I will definitely make it up to her. I am extremely sorry, Tool Girl Holly, if you're watching this. My apologies. Things the planets didn't align, and I really wanted to be there. So I'm very, very sorry. Now then, right. So yes, I will be getting a haircut. Hopefully, we'll find out if Barber John gets back to us. Spunky739. Hi, everybody. Well, there you go, Spunky. You've had a shout out. Jim K, I just got my haircut this week. Been 4 months. This has probably been about the same, if not longer. Barber John can tell us when he gets here, if he gets here, because he is the only barber that cuts Andy Mechanic hair. And I have been getting some serious shit at work for my appearance. And on Tuesday, so I'm back up in Auckland tomorrow, working my way up. On Tuesday, we're doing photos. So there's no way I'm going to get this image locked in stone for the next few years on our company website. So I have to get my hair cut. So John, if you're not going to be here today, somebody else is going to cut my hair. They have to do, and I'm going to have a major shave. Chuckwood, brilliant. Yes. Mike Adams, hello Andy. Sounds like you need to invest in some large gauze, because with all the hours and work you've been putting in, you've got to be dragging ass. Oh, that was a message. I wonder if it's Barber John. Is it? No, it's not. It's a John, but it's actually a Joe. Hang on. It's Joe. What does Joe have to say? Hey, Andy, pretty soon you can have the Tool Girls again. Hope you were good. Yes, Joe, I can actually have the Tool Girls right now if they were actually available, but unfortunately, none of them are. And I do actually have an advert running again through the talent website that I use to get Tool Girls. So hopefully in the next few weeks, we'll be doing a few trial videos again like we did a few years ago. Because I really need to get a Tool Girl that's somewhere local to the new workshop, because logistics is just a nightmare. But I am hoping to get Tool Girl Holly down next weekend, be it the Saturday or the Sunday. I don't know. We'll have to find out, won't we? It could be a surprise. Now, right, got all that. Ed Foster, cheers, Andy. Cheers, Ed. Good to have you on board, matey. You can see I'm wearing my jacket this morning because it's bloody cold here again. And I'm tired, so you feel the cold more when you're tired. Right, Jim K, that's great. You're at level 1 now. Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise. The New Zealand, sorry, it's weird keeping talking about this COVID thing, but you know, in reality, it really hasn't gone away globally. It's a big problem everywhere, apart from New Zealand. By the looks of it, we haven't got any cases at the moment, which is great. Although I do think the odd one will keep popping up out of the woodwork. We'll have to wait and see. Jacinda has warned us about that. Mike Adams, get a haircut. Yes. And get a real job. Clean up your act and don't be a slob. Get it together like your big brother Bob. Whoop. Some George. Thorogood the hello. I think I read that out pretty well, actually. I wasn't even aware that it was going to rhyme, but it did rhyme pretty well. And yes, there is a haircut on its way here right now, I believe. We had another message. Hang on. This is weird having messages live. Ooh, it's Tool Girl Lilli. Hang on a minute. Oh my God, what's she done now? Hello. Oh, I've got to read this out in my head first. I'm asking her about a date for the next, not a date, a date for the filming. Need a rear roll guard. Oh, she's just bought some new wheels and tires for her car. And we did do a video on her car. I forget what it is now. I think it's a Mazda, something or other. And she's bought some bigger rims and slimmer tires. Oh, Jim, you got to stop buying me coffee, mate. But I do appreciate it. Thank you very much, Jim. I will definitely buy a coffee with that next week while I'm in Auckland. And then the week after, it looks like I'll be in the South Island again. But we'll see. So there is, I can show you this, I think. There is Tool Girl Lilli's car. Oh, hang on. There you go, look. That's what she's got. And we did some service work on it and stuff. And I did buy her an O2 sensor to go on the exhaust, obviously. And because she had a problem with it. And it's still in the bag over a year later. She hasn't got around to fitting it. And her car's really low. So she needs a hoist really to do the job properly. Right, hang on. Let's see what else. I need some coilovers or super loads. Oh, my God. So she's looking at lowering the car and she wants her rear guards rolling because the tyres are catching. Because she bought the wrong ones. Stop messing with your car, Tool Girl Lilli. God's sake, honestly. What do you do? Tell people that they have to modify the cars and play around with them, don't they? Keep it original and it's reliable. There was a little story actually. She called me up, about a year ago now. And she said, "Hey Andy, there's a funny noise coming from my car." So I went round one evening. I was in Auckland, fortunately, that week. I went round and I took. She'd had some. I think she had some tyres fitted, and it didn't have the original wheels on at the time either. She's had the car for a while, and when you buy those aftermarket wheels, sometimes you get the little plastic spacers that, if the hub mount is too small for the aftermarket rims, they put a little plastic spacer in. So when you bolt the rim on, it centrally mounts via the hub. They're not called stud-mounted wheels; they're called hub-mounted wheels. So you need that little spacer. It's not a spacer outwards; it's a spacer in diameter of the hub. And took both back wheels off, and we found that both spacers were on one side, and there was no spacers on the other. And what that meant was that one wheel wasn't centrally located, which wasn't a huge problem. It wasn't balanced. But the other wheel, because it had two spacers, there was actually a gap between the rim and the hub. So it wasn't actually mated to the hub itself. There was about a 2mm gap. And the wheel had come loose, and it was, moving around on the wheel nuts, and that was the noise that she could hear. So we thank God that she actually called me in to take a look at it, because some of the wheel nuts were already loose, and the wheel could have fallen off her car, and she could have had an accident, and potentially there could be no more Tool Girl Lilli, which would be a catastrophe for all of us. But hey, we got the problem fixed, and managed to pry out one of the little spacers and stick it on the correct side, and bolt the wheels up and torque the wheel nuts as you're supposed to do. And she was very, very appreciative of my work, obviously. But she said, I'll get some new wheels. She sort of lost faith in those wheels, but there was nothing wrong with them. It was the people that fitted them. And you know what? She never actually got back to them to complain that they'd made that mistake. Honestly, it's unbelievable. And it did cause a small amount of damage to the rim that came loose. It had actually, the conical shape where the wheel nut goes in the rim, one or two of those were damaged. So by rights, they owe her a new rim. Anyway, stories, they keep popping up, don't they? So Kill Switch. Hey, Andy. Good morning, Kill Switch. Good to have you on board, matey. And again, Jim K, thank you very much for the coffee. I do appreciate that. As you can see, Mrs. Mechanic has not reared herself out of bed yet and furnished me with a nice hot coffee, which is most upsetting. I don't think she's even got a phone with her. We could even send her a message and we'll see what she's going to say. I'll send her a text. How's that? Because texts are very traditional kind of thing, aren't they? Hi, Mrs. Mechanic. Any chance of a coffee? Oh, 2 Fs. Right. We've sent that. Let's see if it works. I don't think it will. Roger Heaps is in the shop. Good morning, Andy. Coming to Invercargill on the next trip. Believe it or not, I am coming to Invercargill. It's looking like it will be next week, because I'm going up to Auckland Monday, Tuesday, and then hopefully either I'm doing some filming on the Wednesday, some more ROV stuff I'm told, or I'm going up to Kaitaia for a couple of days. So there's a few dealers heading up the north part of the North Island. I've got to call in and see them, because I've not seen them since last year, which is ridiculous. But the following week, after all that's done, and I've done some more weekend stuff in the workshop, and of course another live stream, the plan is I need to get my ass down to the South Island. I've got some very urgent training to do down there. And I thought, well, while I'm there, I'm going to visit all the other dealers that I've not yet seen since last year. I need to catch up with them. There's all sorts of little fires burning that I need to put out. So if I'm coming to Invercargill, Roger, I will most definitely let you know. Roger, send me an email and put in your email your mobile phone number so I can flick you a text. Jim K, do you have a rodent problem down there? I'm fixing a wiring harness that has eaten part of. I don't. Well, not here anyway. I've not had any vehicles supplied to me with rodent issues, to be honest. Not cars, not ROVs, not ATVs. No, not really. I mean, there are rodents. There's mouses around and even bigger mouses called ratties. But they seem not to have a taste for wiring at the moment. No, not really come across it, to be honest. Now then, so no, sorry, Jim, can't really help you there. The One Civil Man. Hi, I'm here. Good morning, One Civil Man. Excellent to have you on board, sir. Mike Adams, do you have a trick for getting bits of dirt and small bugs out of a lawnmower or motorbike without having to remove the tank? John Deere riding mower is a pain to get the tank out of. Okay, so are the bugs and dirt in the fuel tank? Where about? Give me some more information, Mike. I'll see what I can come up with. The One Civil Man. How much have I missed? Very little, actually. I was a bit late starting this morning, about 4 or 5 minutes late. My sincere apologies. It's not like me to do anything late, but it just caught me out. I had a load of stuff to clear out of the workshop. As you know, there's a particular brand that can't be represented in this workshop, and there was a lot of it. So it took me a bit of time to get it out. I have left a couple of bikes in for you. I've got my original, my original KTM 640 LC4 that came from England. Bought that brand new, although it's got some different plastics on now. And Tool Girl Lilli's farm bike is still here, but I'm trying to get her to actually get sorted out so she can ride it on the road. She keeps complaining that she's got nowhere to store it, so I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I've had to put the Regio runs out in a few weeks' time, so I've put it on hold when it expires. We can always revert that back and put some Regio on it if she gets her act together. Lily, come on, get sorted out. Right. Right, Mike Adams. I have a little bit of debris getting sucked up to the pickup tube and stopping it. So into the air intake, you mean? Could you not just fit an additional little gauze? Or what you could do, which would definitely work, is on agricultural vehicles, they use what's called a pre-filter. It's like a vortex type unit. So the air going in is spun around, and all the small particles and flies and bugs and all sorts of stuff get thrown outwards while it's running. So you get clean air supply to your normal air filter. When you turn the engine off, all those bits then fall out through little holes in the bottom. Very, very simple, doesn't really need any maintenance, sort of self-cleaning. And your John Deere supplier, who also does tractors, no doubt, will be fully aware of those. You can get them off the internet as well. You just need to make sure you get one the right size for the tube. And you might have to do a bit of tubing and stuff, but there's no reason why it shouldn't work. And a lot of tractors do have those pre-cleaners on them anyway, those vortex type. So a bit of Googling and you'll work it out. That's what I would do. And in fact, my old Daihatsu F55 and our F50 actually used to have a type of vortex thing built into the airbox as well, which actually did work. It was pretty cool. So well done, Daihatsu. Stephen John Betts. Hi, Andy, from a stormy and very wet Southwest Island. Wow, I've not been to Ireland for many, many, many years. I only ever went once, and it was to County Cork for an off-road driving weekend with a very good friend of mine, Tim Johnson, who I do remember from England very much, and I hope he's doing okay. He had a big joinery company, I think, for a while, making kitchens and stuff. But yeah, we did lots of off-roading together, me and Tim. Had a great time, and hopefully one day he might come to New Zealand. It'd be great to catch up. So Tim Johnson, if you're watching this, get your ass to New Zealand. We can go off-roading again. I've got a good mate down in the South Island that's got an off-road centre, so we can, reminisce and do do stuff like we used to do years and years ago. Kill Switch BB. Mrs. Mechanic is either going to reply, of course, my darling, I'll get you a coffee, or, which is far more likely, something that would get me banned for typing it. Lol. Yes, let's have a little look and see if she's replied. Nope, there's no reply, so she's probably fast asleep. However, I have had an email come in. This is weird, sharing all my stuff. Right, so I did a casting call through the Star Now website, so you can Google that if you want, and it's been approved, which is fantastic. That's so good. Right, so the casting call for a new Tool Girl is live, so I'll keep you posted, and maybe I'll do some kind of viewer interaction as well, where you can actually be involved in the casting, as in choosing various applicants. That would be really cool. I'll let you know. I'll see what I can come up with and make sure I'm not in breach of any kind of the Star Now stuff because they get really grumpy otherwise. Right, where are we? Right, K Kulo. Could you recommend changing glued-in windscreens yourself as a DIY job, or is it best to let a company do it? I don't have any problems with doing it myself, to be honest. I've changed plenty of windscreens that aren't the bonded type. They call it bonded, by the way. I think there's a reason why you shouldn't do it yourself. And that's because a bonded windscreen is a structural part of the vehicle. The glass actually provides support to the roof. I know it sounds weird, but it does. Whereas a windscreen that's held in with the old traditional sort of rubber strip is not classed, usually anyway, as a structural part of the vehicle, which means that anybody can fit the one with the rubber strip, as long as you know what you're doing and not break the glass, which is easier said than done sometimes. Whereas a bonded one needs to be done, obviously the car has to have insurance and so on to go on the road. It needs to then be done by a qualified windscreen installer. I have exactly that problem on Team Henry, the little Suzuki Alto that we have parked in the garden that Charlotte was using down in Queenstown. Some of you may remember that Rescue Charlotte series of videos that I did. And it's been sat in the garden, and it just wanted a couple of rack ends on the steering rack, and it would have gone through the warranty. Oh, and a set of rear brake shoes, I think it wanted as well. There was a braking balance on it. But lo and behold, the windscreen has cracked because of the frost. Or it might be rust underneath the windscreen. I don't know yet. I've not taken it out. But I rang round all the windscreen suppliers I could find here in New Zealand, asking if I could do a cash and carry on a windscreen and fit it myself. And every single one of them said, absolutely not. You have to bring your car to us. So I think there is a legal requirement going on. I might be able to pull a few strings. I've got a few friends, obviously, in the industry that might be able to slip a windscreen out the back door for a bit of cash. We'll have to wait and see, because obviously lots of windscreens get broken during installation, so it must be a nightmare to keep stock of exactly what they've got, what they've sold, and what they've broken. We'll have to wait and see. But poor old Team Henry now is seconded to the corner of the garden. And in all honesty, depending on the price of the windscreen, which is usually about $500, it may never go back on the road again. It may well not be viable to do the fix because, a couple of rack ends, set of rear brake shoes, a new windscreen to fit. There may probably be some rust repairs to do under the windscreen. We're probably looking at about $1,000 worth of parts, plus all the labour. And the car's not really worth that anymore. So I might just have to flick it on to somebody else as a parts car. Sorry, Henry. Been a good little car, that one. So, where are we? Right, the one Silverman, do you know of any way to restore a 12-volt sealed lead-acid battery that does not hold charge? There's lots of videos on YouTube on how to restore lead-acid batteries. All I've done, and I don't get too involved with this because I need to rely on my batteries as much as you do. They're a bit of a pain. You go to the car, it's been stood a few weeks on the motorcycle. You want it to start. You don't have to piss around trying to charge it up all the time. But I do get batteries which have been given to me as failed batteries. And I always put them on an old school transformer charger. A lot of people nowadays only have those really smart, and I use that in inverted commas, smart electronic chargers. And with the electronic chargers, when they as soon as you connect to the battery, they look at the current flow into the battery and the voltage. And if they don't see any kind of appreciable increase within a certain time period, maybe a minute or 90 seconds, something like that, then they'll go, hey, this battery is knackered, you just need to get a new one. Whereas in reality, if you put the same battery on an old school transformer charger and put it on high, and just for a short period of time, basically what it does is it gets the electrolyte to ferment. You'll hear bubbles through the chemical reaction going on inside the battery. And what that does is it helps to clean off the plates. You've got these plates inside, anodes and cathodes, and they get corroded. You know, they get a lot of crap building up on them over the years, and that fermentation helps to break all of that off, and it falls to the bottom of the battery, increases the surface area of those plates because the corrosion prevents the chemical reaction. It cleans it all off, and then the battery sort of comes back to life. Probably never as good as the day it was born, but maybe good enough to give you another 6 months or a year out of the battery. Who knows? But it's definitely worth doing. And probably, I would say, about 75% of the batteries that I put on the old school charger do come back to life. I charge them up fully, I test them with a load tester, and then I charge them up again, and I stick them in the corner of the workshop. And there's a big pile of them over here. There's probably about 30 batteries there. There is actually, there was one on charge. I've turned it off, so I'm okay to smoke. There's no explosive fumes around. But what I'll do every sporadically when I get a bit bored and have a bit of free time is I go through all the batteries and retest them. Probably once every couple of months. And any that are completely discharged get scrapped, and the ones that have still got a good charge, I keep. Don't know what I'm going to do with them all. Some of them are out of the quad bikes and motorcycles that we have. Others are ones that I've gained because there's actually nothing wrong with them. I wonder if Barber John's got back to us. Nope, no Barber John. I bet he's fast asleep in bed, or he could be riding, one or the other. So it still possibly might turn up. We'll have to wait and see. If he does turn up, it's going to be a video as opposed to a live stream. Wow, a video on my channel? What's going on? I've only done live streams the last few weeks. It's ridiculous, I know. My apologies. Now then. Oh, hang on. I think Mike's got me some more information. Let's just see. Hang on. Right. So hopefully one Silverman, that's helped a little bit. I'm not an expert in batteries, but there is a lot of really good information on YouTube as well. So have a hunt around, see what you can find. There's probably lots of different ways of doing it. Jim Haynes, smash that like button, people. Only thing free in life. So what have we got? We've got 15 likes and 33 viewers. So 18 of you haven't smashed the like button. So it's time for you to press the like button, people, please. That's what really helps YouTube to promote the video. And that's what helps me because, got to bring some money in, basically, haven't we? That's what it's all about. Well, it's not really what it's all about, but it's nice. It helps. It does, because there is a cost involved in making videos. Realistically, I should be on with... In fact, hang on, I'll show you. I can show you because they're in boxes. That stack of boxes there, look, has got calipers and CVT drive and all sorts of bits and pieces that have been stripped off the vehicle, off the ROV, and waiting now for me to recondition. So I've got lots and lots of work to get done today. But I'm doing this. I enjoy talking to you guys. I look forward to it. So, Mike, sorry, yes, the fuel tank. My bad typing. The words fuel tank were in my brain, but didn't make it to my fingers. It's all right, Mike. I have the same problem all the time, believe me. There we are, that's better. Oh, notice the new page on the Forge. I know Jared's watching this. He always watches the live streams. And look, Jared, we've got Miss June. Miss June Forge is up, but modified as always. We can't be breaching any of the... In fact, I might do a little wander around the workshop later on for you, and you'll get a better view. But I have modified the imagery somewhat to comply in my interpretation of the YouTube requirements. Now, so fuel tank. Sorry, Mike, we always digress. So, fuel tank. You're getting bugs and crap in the fuel tank. Well, your fuel tank has to breathe. So those bugs and dirt must be getting in. The only way it can get in is through the breather. But there's nothing to stop you putting a filter on the breather as long as it doesn't get blocked. Simple solution. If it's a cap with a hole in it, like the old school type, I take it it's a carburetted engine, being a lawnmower, then there's probably... What you'll need to do potentially is maybe change the cap to one that has like a motocross style bike, has a little pipe off it, and then you can run the pipe to somewhere that's going to get clean air, and maybe put a little inline filter in it as well. That would work. But of course, you've got to find a fuel cap that fits your fuel tank. Your other option is maybe glue, clean it all up and maybe glue something on so you can go to a pipe and then run it off somewhere. I'm sure you can work something out. It sounds like a pretty simple thing to fix. But yes, it would save a lot of time cleaning your bloody fuel tank out, that's for sure. And of course, those bugs and grit are going to work their way through to your filter and prematurely block your filter up as well. So not good. George, good morning, Andy. Great to see you guys perform best with the pandemic. Any new plans for this week? Yes, very quickly, because I've gone through it already, George. Monday, I'm driving north. Got a call into Matamata, which was one of the hot spots for the coronavirus a few weeks ago. There had quite a lot of cases there. Got a call in there for about 3 hours. Go and see one of the motorcycle shops there for a while. And then I've got to get over to Piha and deliver their other ROV that I've finished. It's on the trailer ready to go. And then I've got to go into work. Damn, on Tuesday. I've got a town hall meeting and lots of other stuff going on. And then the rest of the week, I don't know. I'm either going up north to Kaitaia for dealer visits, or I'm doing some filming for work. We don't know which yet, not being confirmed. The filming takes precedence, obviously, because it's urgent. But it all depends whether I can get a camera crew and a venue set up. So there you go. And then the week after is looking very much like it's going to be South Island. Pretty sure it is. Mike Adams, debris in the fuel tank, lol. Okay, I got it. Right, that time. Good man. I worked it out. Okay, so it'll be getting in through that little breather hole in the fuel cap. So you need to glue something on. You can maybe get like an old fuel filter, take the innards out and just use that as your aperture to fit your pipe onto. Something like that would work. Right, okay, so Jim K, when fixing a wiring harness, how do you feel about soldering versus crimping the connections? Big debate, I know. I always solder. The only time I would ever do a crimp repair, although to be fair, the crimp terminals now, with all the bonded sealant and stuff when you warm them up and things, are much more advanced now than when I first started doing wiring. The only time I'll do any kind of crimp repairs is an emergency repair, and I would always solder up the repair and use some heat shrink to try and keep the moisture out. And again, you can get bonded heat shrink, so it seals up the wire. It's really good stuff, actually. So that's the way I would go. I would definitely solder it. But that's just my opinion. And like you say, there's lots of opinions out there, but it works for me. Works just fine. Joe Smith and Friends is back. Dang it. Saw the title. Thought Tool Girls were in Restraints. I was waiting for a comment like that. I really was. We've got a bumblebee. How the hell does a bumblebee get in a sealed workshop? As long as he bumbles away from me, I'm fine. I don't like bumblebees. Well, I don't mind bumblebees at all until they get really close. Then I sort of freak out. So yes, Restraints, the title of the video. I did that to try and get some kind of response. Now, I was down in the South Island a couple of weeks ago, and I called in to Everfast. Now, Everfast are in Christchurch, and they are a manufacturer of various types of restraint systems. And I don't mean, although they probably could be used, but I don't mean the kind of restraint systems that you might use, for example, on Tool Girl Lilli. Say no more. I mean the kind of restraint systems that are predominantly used to hold down loads on trailers and trucks, ratchet straps, slings, all that kind of stuff. And it was really interesting to go and see the guys at their factory. I've not actually been in the factory yet. I just got as far as the office, but I have had a little discussion with one of the employees. I can't remember his name now. Sorry, mate. I think maybe Steve or Chris. It was Chris or Steve. I always get those two names mixed up. And he is very happy for Andy Mechanic to go down one day and spend a day in their workshop where we're going to make a video on how they make ratchet straps. And more to the point, how they test them. Because, let's get rid of that. Because ratchet straps, if they're used in a commercial environment especially, should be rated like slings and stuff. So, this is one of my very old ratchet straps, and I've been using these for over 20 years. So there you go, look. Very, very old. And I had about 40 of these. And over the years, of course, as with ratchet straps, you snap them and they fail and they rust up and they just basically wear out. And these are really good because they've got the hook type, hooks basically on the ends, which means it's really easy to clip around a chassis and tie up. I've been using the ones with the two little clasps on the end. In fact, you can see remnants of some of them up there, look, on the racking. And there's some right in the corner, the other bits. And they sort of have a little hook, and they clip together, and they can't, in theory, as long as the ratchet strap stays tight, they can't fall off. Whereas they take a bit of time to fit, and they're 6 meters long, and there's always really long tails left that I have to tie off, which is a bit of a pain. So these, I've only probably got 3 or 4 of these left now in working condition. So I thought, I'm always transporting units, motorcycles, ROVs, ATVs around on the big trailer, and I use a lot of straps. And I got to the point the other week where I actually ran out of straps. I was really struggling to tie everything down properly. And when you are strapping things down, you always need to put in some what they call redundancy. So you need to use additional straps. Always think, what if that strap fails, snaps, comes loose, whatever it is, is that all the tension on that particular vehicle you've got on the trailer or load from that direction going to fail, and then the load could start to shift. And as soon as it starts to shift, other straps come loose and the whole thing starts to, turn into a bit of a palaver, to the point where you could actually lose the vehicle off your trailer. So, cut a long story short, Everfast were really, really excellent service, by the way, really, really good. They listened exactly to what I wanted as a customer, because there was nothing off the shelf that really matched the old style of strap that I had. They had lighter duty styles of that, but I needed a really, I wouldn't say a heavy duty, but at least a medium duty kind of strap. And they came up with this for me. I didn't want lots of plastic on the ratchet piece, so this is the minimum one they do. And that's the handle brand that they use. There, look, so it's got a name on there. And I didn't want to go for a full size ratchet strap like these on the trucks, the full width ones. I think they're a 50mm web that they use on the haulage companies and stuff. I wanted something a little bit smaller, a bit lighter to use. Because at the end of the day, I've got to store these things when they're not in use as well, and I store them in my ute. And when you've got 40 straps, they take up a lot of space. So they fitted me the hooks like I asked, and these are the strongest hooks that they make. And because I use them commercially, because I use them for work as well, they have to have a little tag on them. So there's the tag which sort of certifies them as being up to a certain standard. There's some more stuff on the back. And on the old strap, it took me a while because most of these are worn off now. Oh, that's what's left of one. Let you see. So these old ones had that certification, which is important because, if you've got insurance covering your load, if you're not using certified straps, they could probably say to you, hey, we're not going to provide insurance for the load that fell off your trailer because your straps weren't rated. So I had to make sure I got good ones. So they made those up for me, and they actually arrived the other day. So the ROV that's on the trailer now is tied down with their ratchet straps, which is great. I found them very easy to use. They're not a sponsor to the channel, by the way, and they didn't give me any discount in any way, shape, or form. But it'd be great to have a wander around their workshop and see how they make the straps, and more importantly, and I'm really going to focus on this, how they test them. Because I said, look, do you test them in-house or do you get them tested third party? Do you get a contractor and send them a few straps and they'll come up with a rating? And say, no, we test them in-house. So we can see all of that as well. We can see how they test their straps to make sure that they do meet the ratings that they put on there. So there you go. All that came from tying down Tool Girl Lilli. It's great, isn't it? Now, where are we? I'm sure I've probably got lots of comments to go through. Still no coffee, by the way. Right. So we've done the plans. Mike Adams, Jim K, done that. Joe Smith, done that. Oh, there's only one. Wow. Okay. Kill Switch BB. I do believe that a bonded windscreen is rated for about 30. Oh, hang on. I'm going to have to scroll. Oh, there we go. Look. Hang on. There were more comments. Just bear with me. I've got a computer thing going on. Sorry. Kill Switch BB. I do believe that a bonded windscreen is rated for about 30% or so of the total structural integrity of the roof structure. There you go. So I was right. I thought I was right that bonded windscreens are an integral part of the structure components of a vehicle for the roof, and because of that, you shouldn't be doing them yourselves. However, people do, don't they? There's probably nothing to stop you taking the old screen out and cleaning all the gunge off, and then checking for any rust repairs that you need to do, because windscreens unfortunately do tend to get quite rusty, the actual frame on the between the A posts. So you can get that fixed before you take it down for the new screen. It's the fitting of the new screen that's the legal requirement. In some countries, it would be here in New Zealand, for example, and certainly insurance companies would be a bit grumpy if they found out you'd done it yourself. Joe Smith and Friends Network. Andy Mechanic, did you catch the last 2 episodes of After Dark featuring Brad's Workbench and Junk from Work? Ammo NYC is going to be a great guest. He's got 1.3 million subs. Still want to get you on. I know you do. I know you do, Joe. I know. And I've just been too busy, mate. I'm sorry. It's on the cards. It's on the back burner. It will happen one day. But it just isn't going to happen in the next couple of weeks. My schedule for the next 2 weeks is just mental. I would say I'm probably about a third the way through all the servicing repairs on the ROVs. I've probably got another month, if not 2 months, of hard graft outside normal work time to get all those done. It's probably the biggest batch of ROVs I've ever had to do. And that's knowing what's already booked in. Some more may appear out of the woodwork as well. So things are really, it's really affecting the old YouTube channel. I must admit there haven't been any videos go out on the channel for quite some time now, probably 3 if not 4 weeks. I think the last one that went out was the blowing up the Bosch drill, which wasn't really on the tools kind of video either. I'm feeling really bad, but I just don't have the time. I have to get these ROVs done. So hang in there, Joe. Keep hounding me. You will get what you want one day. I believe me. Nishanda M. Big smiley face. Good morning, Nishanda. Now, the one Silverman. I know this sounds stupid. That's all right. I'm always sounding stupid. But I am trying to put a brake light on my 49cc quad, and I do not know how to put some type of switch to turn it on when I brake. Well, that's quite easy. Okay, so is it a foot pedal brake, or is it a brake lever on the handlebars? And next question is, if it is a brake lever on the handlebars, is it cable or is it hydraulic? Because that makes a huge difference as to how you, what kind of switch you use. If it is the first option, where it's a brake pedal, then you can get a little switch, a pull switch. I haven't got any to hand, actually. They're all on the bikes. In fact, let's go and have a look. I'll take you for a wander. I don't know how well the battery's doing. Just hang on, that's a bit close. I'll just unplug that. And I want to turn the camera around, so we're going to do that. And we'll take you around to, here we are, look, Tool Girl Lilli's bike. There's one on here. So if it is a brake pedal, you will see in there a little pull switch. And when I apply the pedal, it pulls the switch. And maybe, just maybe, you'll see the light come on. Hang on. Oh, yes. Right. So we've got the tail light there. Look. Oh, does it work or not? Is it stuck? It's stuck on. Oh, my God. There we are. Look. Right. It needs some adjustment. What the hell? Why do things? So that's the brake light working. I'll do it for camera, let you see. I'm pressing the brake lever down now. There, look. And I'll do the other shot. There you are. Right. And you can see it pulls, it just pulls that switch out. That's how that one works. Now, with the handlebars, this one is hydraulic. Okay. So, on this one, it's got an integral switch just underneath, which is a little tiny micro switch. Oh, hang on. Rotate device. Wasn't happy then. There you go, look. It doesn't like this kind of stuff on live stream. So there's a little switch just under here, a micro switch that's built into that casting to accept it. But if you've got hydraulic and it hasn't got the mounting for that, hang on, let's go back over here again. I've started to talk too much. There we go. I need to plug this back in, otherwise it's going to go flat. Because like an idiot, I didn't put it on charge last night. Oh, there we are. Right, I'm back. We're at 31% battery, which means it is going up slightly. There we go. Look, that's better. We're not quite level. What's going on there? Let me sort the leveliness out. There we are. Okay, so if it's hydraulic, which on a 49cc quad bike it probably isn't, But if it is, and it hasn't got the mounting for the micro switch, don't panic. You can get a little banjo bolt, which is a switch. You've got to choose the right banjo bolt thread, but then you can use that switch to run your brake light. If it's cable operated, then you've got more of a problem. You might have to rig up some kind of pull switch at the other end of the cable, maybe, if it's, because I take it it's going to the rear brake. Then on the little arm on the drum, you could make a little bracket to hold that little pull switch. You'll have to sort of bodge something up. I take it a 50cc quad bike, you know, if it's not meant to have a rear brake, which clearly it hasn't, brake light should I say, then you know, you're gonna have to put your thinking cap on and see how you can do it. But it's obviously possible. Anyway, you might give me some more information further down the comments and we'll revisit that. Right, so hopefully One Civil Man, that's helped. You could always send me an email with some pictures and I'll try and help. How's that? Now, oh, we've got loads. Jim Haynes, I always crimp, solder and heat shrink with a adhesive lined heat shrink. That's fine. That sounds about as good as you're going to get. I think we can put that on there. That's all right. Ed Foster sent me a message which I think is okay to go on the channel. Ed Foster, Andy, after a long day, you ever think, I'm too old for this shit? Lol. Every now and again, if I've been clambering around on the ground because I don't have a hoist, working underneath vehicles, getting all grubby, and especially if I'm doing the undersealing, oh man, that's a horrible job. I've yet to meet anybody that actually enjoys doing undersealing. It's just a shit job. And shot blasting as well. That's also a shit job. Yeah, I suppose every now and again. Mike Adams. Well, the way the debris got in the tank is I filled the tank from a jerry can. Can I be sitting outside with one of those valve spouts? Bugs got in the spouts, then dumped into my fuel tank refill. Okay, well, you can get funnels, I suppose, that have a little gauze in them. So you'd have to pour out your jerry can through the funnel into the tank. What I used to do when I was a kid, before I realised how explosive petrol was, is I just got a standard funnel and put a rag, just laid like a cotton rag on the funnel and poured the fuel through the cotton. And that again would filter out any kind of crap and stop it going in the fuel tank. So there you go. I think that's the only real solution. I didn't realise that the bugs and dirt got in during the filling process. I mean, it shouldn't get to the car because there should be a fuel filter. If there isn't a fuel filter, put one in. And then that way, any crap that's in the fuel tank won't get to your carburetor. Daniel Bedell. Andy, I moved from Phoenixville, PA, to Newport, New Virginia. So this is my official first time saying hello from Newport. It says Newport News, Virginia, but I think it means Newport, New Virginia. Well, good morning, Daniel, and welcome to the channel from a different location. That's fantastic. It's probably the first viewer that I'm aware of that's moved house from when they first started to view the channel. So good to have you on board, mate. Graham McClucky, that name rings a bell. Good morning, Andy. Picking up milk from Winter Milk Farms, Frontiera tanker driver. Have a great day. Graham, you guys do a fantastic job. There's Frontiera tankers all over New Zealand, thundering around in all hours during the day and at night to get these jobs done, to collect the milk for all our, well, milk customers, I suppose. Great drivers. That I really rarely come across any Frontiera tanker drivers on the road that are not driving correctly, should I say. They always seem to be very amenable to allowing cars to get past it when it's safe and that kind of stuff. And you guys do work long hours. I remember years ago, I used to live up near Warkworth, Puhoi it was, and there was a road closed because one of their tanker drivers had gone off the road. Whether it was ice or what, I don't know. I hope he was okay. I can't remember whether it was a fatality or not, but I think he'd fallen asleep at the wheel was the final verdict, but I don't know. But anyway, stay safe, drive safe, and don't work too long hours. Good to have you on board though, Graham. Now then, Simon Simon Rule. Here he is. Morning from the UK. Good morning, Simon. Hope you're well. I'm still waiting for the parcel. Hasn't turned up yet. I keep checking. I get like a notification from my PO box. I get an email whenever there's mail or parcels to collect. And at the moment, I've only got letters to collect, it says. But we'll find out. I'll keep checking. I'll let you know as soon as it arrives. George. Oh, there's loads. Your suggestion on maintaining O-ring chains, always bugged with loose and tight spots on the chain, causing premature chain and sprocket replacement. Oh, yeah. I mean, you do get that. We even get it on I've come across it on very, very new bikes that have been in storage for a while. You do tend to get tight links on the chains. All you can do is just lube them up and try and work that lube onto the O-rings, because it's really, well, it could either be the O-ring that's dry that's causing the link to bind, or it could actually be the pin itself inside. But yeah, it's quite difficult. Years ago, we used to get you could buy like a chain lube in a metal tin, and you'd put your chain in the tin and put it on the stove, not really hot, and warm it up. And that would help the oil to impregnate into the actual chain. Whether it would make it past the O-rings or not is a whole new matter. It's a bit of a problem, because the idea is that it's sealed and it shouldn't require any maintenance. Although you do still lube the chain, for the lubrication between the chain itself and the sprocket. That lube, in theory, isn't for the O-rings. The grease that's put in the chain from new should stay, in theory, on the pin for the life of the chain. But all you can do is, maybe take the chain off and just work the links and just try and free it off again. It's a bit of a problem. It really is. I don't have that problem myself too often. The only bike I own that's new at the moment is, I can't say the brand, but I have one that's got an O-ring chain. It hasn't got any issues at the moment, but I have come across it from time to time. And just spraying the chain isn't enough. It's not going to get beyond those O-rings, and you can't. There's no way you can move the O-ring to one side, because they're pretty well clamped in position. So maybe just, and if you are going to soak it in something, make sure it's a chemical, or an oil or lubricant that isn't going to react with the O-rings, because it could make them go soft and they could all start falling out. I did have that problem with a guy few years ago, before I worked in this current position. He had a motorcycle. It was the brand that I work for now. It was quite new, and he'd been lubing his chain very, very regularly. In fact, I think over lubing his chain, and the O-rings started to break up and flick out, and there was one stuck on the rim of the rear wheel. And it turned out it was the chain lube that he was using was reacting with the rubber O-ring. So I did give him a new chain under warranty. But I did insist they used the official manufacturer's chain lube for the chain. And after that, he had no more problems. So it does pay sometimes to use the official manufacturer's recommended chain lube. Not all chain lubes are the same. Joe Smith and friends, busy working on ATVs and mowers here too. Andy Mechanic, later this summer, I hope. Yes, we will definitely do it. Guarantee. Simon, you can get a brake light switches that are built into the banjo. Yes, they are. I did cover that, Simon. Think it's Goodyear make them now. Oh, okay. Well, I hadn't heard of Goodyear making them. But yes, you've been able to get those for quite some time. And some manufacturers now use the hydraulic type or the pressure type brake switch, which is part of the banjo, on brand new bikes. I think Ducati and stuff do. And even KTM now, I think. So thanks, Simon. Thanks for that. People can Google Goodyear now. Daniel Beddle, do you have an adaptive fast charger for your phone? Adaptive fast charger. I've never heard of one of those. What I do have, in fact, it's gone flat. No, it hasn't gone flat. It's fully charged. That's more like it. Oh! Ha ha ha! John the Barber, here we go. It's a long message. Oh, jeepers. Sorry, fella. We are not going to be able to make it today. Oh, man. Completely forgot to message you a week or two ago that it's not going to work for me. I have kids duty every other weekend. Okay, some of this I don't want to mention. Okay. Bet you have a right mop now. No kidding, John. Look at it. It's horrific. I can't say that word. Let me have a think and see if we can get there in the next week coming. Okay. Well, John, that I'll reply to you later on. That will probably work because I'm hoping to get Tool Girl Holly down next Sunday. So then we would have a Tool Girl to assist. The only problem is I have a work photo on Tuesday. So I'm just going to have to slick it back. I'm going to have to dig deep in the hair gel department and just slick the whole thing back and hope that nobody notices. I might have to, I can shave though. I can do the shave thing. I can trim that. Okay, we can make it work. Okay, well, you have to wait another week for this Andy and the Barber video, unfortunately, but it should be good. I've been looking forward to it for, well, about 4 months, actually. Now then, so do I have an adaptive charger for my phone? No, not an adaptive one. All I have is this little brick thing here, which I use, which is really good. I've used it for a while. It's made by Swiss Mobility. I have 2 of these because when I'm working away sometimes it gets difficult to charge your phone. And I also use my phone a lot for hotspotting to my laptop when I'm working, and that zaps the power out of the phone. So I need to plug it into this. If I try and plug the phone into the laptop to get the charge from the laptop, this Microsoft Edge thing that I have regularly says that there's too much current flow on the USB port and it doesn't like it, so it's no good for charging phones. So I use this, but I don't know what an adaptive charger is. I'll have to find out. The only other thing that I do have is this thing here, which I'm using to charge the phone that you're watching on now, which is made by Targus. Now this plugs into the mains via a little transformer plug, and it gives you 2 powerful, what are they? Does it tell me what the outlets are on here? It doesn't. It doesn't. I know that these 2 ports are for charging. Shit. These 2 ports are for charging, and those are data ports. They're no good for charging at all. Very good. Apart from that, I found out this morning that that port has failed. Doesn't charge. Hence, one of the reasons why the phone that you're watching on is pretty low on battery, because I used that port to start off with. Idiot, honestly. So tell me more about adaptive phone chargers. Don't know what they are. Car Guy 72. Good morning, Andy. How's it going? It's going great. Although I am starting to get a bit of a sore throat because Mrs. Mechanic has not brought me a coffee yet. Should we give her a call? Oh man, I really need a coffee. Right. See if we can get hold of her. She might answer a phone. She might not. Should I put it on speaker? I won't put it on speaker. That might get me into some pretty serious trouble. Hang on a minute. Bear with me. I need my coffee. Oh my God. Answer phone. I see a pattern developing here, people. No coffee on live streams. It's ridiculous. Anyway, let's crack on with some comments. So, Ed Foster. I know the feeling, lol. Duke of the Dales. Hello, Andy. Sorry I'm late. It's all right, mate. I was late getting started this morning as well. My apologies to those that started at the start of the live stream. Joe Smith and Friends Network. Nope, it's Newport News. Really? Sorry. My fault. I'm not as worldly as I thought I was. Jim Haynes. It is Newport News. Well, my apologies to anyone that lives in Newport News for basically saying your town, area, country, the town incorrectly. Carl Brandon. Hello from Texas. I'll get that right. Your hair is getting wild. It is, and it's going to have to last another week now. John the Barber has just sent me a message through to say that he can't make it today. I'm gutted. I was really relying on him coming here today because it's mental. And I didn't put any kind of gel and shit in the hair this morning because he was supposed to be coming to cut it. And, anyway. It is what it is. There's worse things in life. It's probably long enough to sell, actually. You can sell hair, can't you? Somebody will buy it. Simon, for a rear on a quad bike, you may be able to make a bracket for the switch and use the engine side casing bolts to hold it. Yes. Yes. If it's a brake pedal, that's right. Yeah. But it's on a little tiny quad bike, Simon, a little 50. So it might be just lever brakes. It may not have a brake pedal as such, being a kid's quad. I don't think the little Suzuki LT50As had a brake pedal. I think their rear brake was one on the left, and the front brake was one on the right. It was. I remember now. Even on the. Oh my word! Keith is in the house. Keith, why are you sending me money? What's going on? He's put a little. Morning, Keith. Hope you well, mate. Good to have you on board. And yes, I bet my hair length beats yours at the moment. I hate to use the phrase because it's very stereotyped, but I feel really hillbilly at the moment. I don't know what's going on. Thanks, Keith. Do appreciate it, mate. And good to hear from you. I hope you're well. And I hope you're also keeping safe. Just for the record, Keith, I have no coffee at the moment, so my throat is getting a bit dry. Mrs. Mechanic is still in bed. We've tried to call her. I've sent her a text. Nothing. She must be asleep. I know she didn't sleep that well last night. Okay, where do we get to? Right. Simon. Oh, another one. It's on its way, Andy. Sent last month. Oh, sent last Monday. Monday. Okay. No worries, Simon. I will obviously save it to be opened during a live stream or a mail call video. For sure. Can't wait for that. Daniel Bedell. Hang on, Daniel. Let me just scroll down a bit. I wish I could send you some pictures of work my brother and I are doing in his new house here in Newport News, Virginia. There you go. You can Google it. I will Google it. You can send me some pictures, but you'd need to email them to me. And my email address is andymechanic, that's one word, andymechanic at live, live.co.uk. It's still the UK email, so andymechanic at live.co.uk. Feel free to fire them through. I do get a lot of emails. In fact, whilst we're on the subject of emails, God, you never know where this is going to go anyway, these live streams. There's always stuff going on. A good, where will I find it? Hang on. Yes. Right. I need to get his name there. Hang on. Bear with me. I'm very, very, very disorganized here because I get a lot of emails. Hang on. Here we go. Right. So, Baz. Right. Baz from middle of nowhere. I think he's up near Scotland from memory. Sent me some pictures of his Honda Pilot that he'd done. Look at that. That is one smart machine. Let me try and get it so I can scroll things across. Oh, there's an Andy Mechanic mug. Right. If you get a picture that you shouldn't be seeing, you have to close your eyes. Look at that. Bloody cool. I've always wanted a Honda Pilot, so I'm very, very, very envious of Baz at the moment. And this is the one that he restored. Oh, another Andy Mechanic mug. Fantastic. Okay, so thank you for the pictures, Baz. You have yet again grown my envy, and maybe one day when I'm rich, or have at least a bit of spare cash, because at the moment things are going out as quickly as they come in, I may try and find a Honda Pilot and do it up, because I would love to do a buggy like that. Always wanted one. And looking at the pictures, and I haven't Googled it, but I think they have a two-stroke engine in them, which is even better because I love two-stroke engines. Anyway, so there you go. So you can send me some pictures, and you never know, they might end up on the live stream. Duke of the Dales. I was out riding the KTM 640 Duke, and my backlight popped out after going over a bump. You mean a humpback bridge jump is what you mean, Duke of the Dales, not a bump. Do you have one I could buy, and can I collect it? Well, I've only got my KTM 640 LC4 Super Motards, so I don't know if they've got the same tail light as the Duke. Maybe not. I don't know. Send me some pictures, And would I sell one of mine? I don't know. I might do. If you twist my arm enough, send me an email with some pictures so I can at least identify if it's the same part or not. How's that? But I take it the whole backlight fell off the bike. I mean, surely didn't it stay in place because of the wiring? I don't know. Tell me more. The one civil man. F me. I had to eat breakfast. I missed you answering my question. Oh, ask me again. Remind me. Ask me again. You're lucky you got breakfast. I've had nothing yet. Daniel Bedell. My new zip code is 23607. Okay. Thanks for that. The world now knows. Joe Smith and Friends Network. Newport News is where a lot of Navy and other ships are built. Interesting stuff. Shipyard. Jim K. Is the film crew filming new product? Oh, Jim, you asked some pretty in-depth questions, and it would be unprofessional of me to comment on that, Jim, given the background. Okay. Mike Adams. My word. Being you're setting up your new shop, as you are you as guilty as I am at salvaging things from demolition sites, displays and stores that have been thrown out, etc., to repurpose or configure for your use? Well, I don't tend to go out scavenging, but I do drive all over New Zealand, as you well know. And it's tradition here in New Zealand, if somebody's got something that they don't want, and they just want to give it away and get rid of it, they'll put it outside their house and put the words free to a good home or something along those lines on a piece of cardboard next to it. And you're quite within your rights to stop and pick it up and take it home. And they don't mind. In fact, most people are quite grateful that you've given it a good home. So I do keep my eyes open. I also don't like waste. I don't like to throw something away that has still some potential usage. Although I have to be quite ruthless and try and clear stuff out now and again because I don't have a lot of space. And yes, I do regret sometimes throwing something away or disposing of something or recycling it when maybe in the future I come to the point where I think, oh, I could have used that for this. For example, the racking that I got just up there, there's a lot more of it, believe me, that's a tiny amount. Very happy to have that in the workshop because it's got a real history to it. It used to belong to Air New Zealand in their stores, and then it went to a motorcycle shop called Red Baron in Auckland, and then they gave it all to me, provided I took it all down, disassembled it all. So me and Ben went down for the day and did that. So I'm grateful that I did because I've got a stack of it, and when I put up another shed, I'll be able to use a lot more of it. But no, I don't go out deliberately searching for stuff to salvage, but I do keep my eyes open. Definitely don't like to turn my back on something that could be useful and free usually. Now then, Pat. Good morning, Pat. Get Mrs. Mechanic to cut your hair live next week. No, don't give Mrs. Mechanic any kind of sharp objects. Definitely not, especially when it's on YouTube. No, it could. She really doesn't like the Tool Girls. Believe me, it causes major problems. And I can understand why, but I wouldn't like to invite the loss of blood. It wouldn't be good. Joe Smith and Friends Network. Stay safe, Andy Mechanic. Cool hanging out with you. Got an ATV to finish. Summer here in the States, but guess winter for you guys. It is. It's not over warm, to be honest. It really isn't. But once I crack on and start work, then I tend to warm up. I'm pretty cold at the moment. But yes, Joe, we'll catch up. Not sure if your name is Joe, actually. I'm sure you said it was something else. But anyway, Joe Smith and Friends, I will see you next time. Have fun. And do keep hounding me. I will end up on your channel at some point. Guaranteed. Simon. Oh, man. And a bacon butty with that coffee. I'm going to go and find Mrs. Mechanic and demand a coffee. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back in a second. Thirsty. I'm back and I have some really, really good news. Mrs. Mechanic is alive. She's up and she actually already had the kettle on. So something must have been going on. It only took her an hour and 15 minutes of live stream to make me a coffee. Honestly, the things that go on, the things that I have to do and put up with, it's just beyond the joke. It really is. Right, where are we up to? So, Simon, I don't think there's a bacon butty coming because I had one of those yesterday and I'm only allowed one a week, otherwise my jacket won't fit. But I think something else is coming. There's definitely some hot food coming. New Level Auto, yet again, I'm going to give Keith another shout out because he's such a great guy. New Level Auto has done a super chat. That's what they call. I always forget the name of it. A super chat of $3. Thank you very much, Keith. It wasn't necessary, mate. It really wasn't, but I do appreciate it. I will put that towards some survival rations for when I'm down in the South Island in a couple of weeks. And I hope things are working out okay for where you are. You know, the US it's a bad place at the moment for that virus. It really is. So you've got to keep yourself safe. I imagine it's not too bad for you because I think you work from home now most of the time. So that's a good thing, to be honest. You've got to stay safe, mate. We can't afford to lose you, or at least you get ill. You know, I mean, it's not good. I mean, here in New Zealand, we are extremely fortunate, as that there are currently no cases. I don't know how we've done it because I've seen all sorts of stuff going on. I think we've had a lot of luck on our side, to be honest. Anyway, Keith, stay safe, mate, and keep in touch as well. Robert Hickey. That's what you used to get on your neck at school, isn't it? Behind the bike sheds with a chick. Robert Hickey. I won't forget that name. I think I saw you at a concert in the 60s. Funny guy. I wasn't around in the 60s. I'm not that old. But I do need to have a shave. And Barber John has let me down today. He was supposed to be coming down to do my haircut. We'd had it planned for some time. He'd already postponed it a couple of times. And he's let me down again. I am not impressed, Barber John. I'm not. I imagine this is going to be a free haircut now. After all, I'm so loyal to having you cut my hair. It's unbelievable. Carl Brandon. Hi, Keith. Well, you've got a fan there, Keith. Daniel Bedell. The adaptive fast charger has a lightning bolt on it. Well, that's cool. That's like Flash Gordon stuff, that is. And it actually says adaptive fast charging. It senses how low your device is on its charge and gives it extra amperage to help charge it. I need one of those. You've sold it to me already. Right, Graham Hetter. Morning, Andy. Good morning, Graham, and welcome aboard. We're an hour and 18 minutes into today's live stream. It can only last 2 hours. I'm not going to go for a record-breaking 2 hours and 47 minutes, I think, is what we've been up to one day, which was just ridiculous. I had loads of work to do that day as well. Daniel Bedell. Oh, device. Charge your device faster. Yeah, I've got that. Okay, thank you, Daniel. I will check it out and no doubt get one. If you've got a particular brand that you can recommend, that'd be great. Carl Brandon. Dunkin' Donut Coffee. Stop it. I'm really hungry. Stop teasing me with food and drink. Simon, cable on the handbrake CG125. Cable on the handbrake CG125 levers are cheap and have the switches built in. So just check, if it is a cable brake system, just buy like Simon says, buy a complete lever and perch, and then you'll be able to get the switch at the same time, and away you go. That sounds a very simple solution, and I do like the Honda CG125s. I do. I have an image that will never go away. A friend of mine, Hugh Owen, he was a schoolmate. I've not been in contact with Hugh, well, forever, since school, to be honest. Really good lad. And I remember him filling up his fuel tank, obviously with petrol, on his CG125. It was one of the red ones. This will be back in the late 80s. Yeah. And he was smoking a cigarette whilst fueling up his petrol tank. And man, I went mental. I went absolutely mental with him. And he says, oh, I do it all the time. Never a problem. He probably isn't around anymore for that very reason. But a great friend, a good friend, we had a good laugh and did a lot of bike rides together. Daniel Bedell, hello Keith. Daniel Bedell, you moved, and now so did I. Lol. John Dyer, Jesus, Andy, your hair's longer than mine. I know. It looks worse because the light's there, and I haven't put anything in it this morning because it was supposed to be getting cut. But yeah, I feel, and nobody reacted to my hillbilly comment, which is really good. So I'll say it again. I feel a bit like a hillbilly, and that's no disrespect to hillbillies. They just tend to have long hair. Now then, Carl Brandon, have a great week. Going back to the NASCAR race. I don't blame you. This is probably a really boring live stream, and I am sorry. Wallace Chalmers, 08 CAD X scanner D ont relates with ECM. Huh? Keith, that's one for you. I don't get that language. 08 CAD external scanner don't relate with ECM. All right, Keith, if you're on, that's yours. Way beyond me. Wallace Chalmers has got a YouTube symbol. That's pretty cool. Oh, by the way, YouTube. I was reading about the use of their logo, and as you can see, it's sort of very incorporated into the Andy Mechanic logo at the moment. And this all came about because I submitted a design to be sold on a particular platform online, and they rejected it. And they said, oh, you can't use the YouTube logo. And I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure as a creator you're allowed to do that. So I did a bit of research, and there is a page on YouTube that gives information to creators. And yes, we are allowed to use the YouTube logo, because to be honest, if you just saw a jacket with Andy Mechanic on it without the YouTube, and you didn't know that I had a YouTube channel, you'd probably just think that that was my name and would have no indication whatsoever it's a YouTube channel. So it's pretty obvious that the YouTube symbol in some way or form needs to... Ooh. Could be a coffee. Hang on. Stand back, woman. Oh, very nice. Look at that. I'll let you shut the door. Woohoo! Food has arrived. Look, I've got a smiley... Hang on, let's share this properly. She's done a smiley face thingy. Look at that. Oh, Christ, we nearly lost it. Right, we'll let that cool down for a minute because it's going to be red hot. Get rid of the phone. Don't need the phone anymore. We know Barbara John's not coming, but I have food and I have a coffee. So, just want to explain, yes, I am allowed to use the YouTube logo. However, there has to be clear space around their logo. And from memory, it's half the height of the logo. It needs to be a gap underneath. So it may be, although YouTube are aware of my logo and obviously the channel because they promote it quite heavily, they haven't said anything. So it might well be that at some point I need to review this and move their logo up slightly away from the Andy Mechanic text. But we'll wait and see. I'm not going to make any changes unless they make me make changes, because obviously it's going to be quite expensive, because it's going to involve, well, a lot of changes, to be honest. All the clothing, all the graphics on the channel. So I'm just going to leave it as it is for now, and we'll see what happens. Anyway, talking about stuff online, the old Andy Mechanic mugs are going out thick and fast from the Zazzle store. If you've not got your own Andy Mechanic mug, and I have a surprise now. I need a drink, hang on. Oh, that's good. If you haven't got your Andy Mechanic mug yet, go on to in fact, I'll give you the full, let me give you the full things. I've got it in here somewhere, hang on. Rather than try and do a thingy on the live stream video later on, let's try and do it a little bit differently. Right, there you go. This is the website address for the Andy Mechanic Zazzle store. Can you read that? So it's www.zazzle.com/store/Andy Mechanic YouTube. Sorry, I can't read backwards. Andy Mechanic YouTube. So if you go onto there, or just go onto zazzle.com or zazzle.co.uk and just go into the search thing, Andy Mechanic YouTube, and I'm sure you'll find it. And there are links to it in videos on the channel as well, so you can go and search one of them out if you're really struggling. I think it's in the description now. and you get yourself any of the Andy Mechanic merch, be it a mug, and we do the thermos ones now, the taller ones that will keep your tea or your coffee or whatever else it is in there either really hot or really cold, depending on what kind of temperature it should be at. Then send me a selfie through an email, and the email is andymechanic@live.co.uk. Send me the selfie through. I'll first of all, I'll give you a mention on the social media platforms, and no doubt in a video, probably a mail call video. I'll get them all lined up. There's quite a few to do, but you will also go into a draw. Now, this is the exciting bit, because I mentioned it to Jared at Forge, who is that one there. Look, I can't tilt it over because it's got coffee in, but that's the Forge logo. You've seen some Forge stuff kicking around. He actually sent me some windscreen wash stuff, which is up there somewhere on the shelf. And Jared is going to put together a goodie bag from Forge. I'm putting some stuff in as well, Andy Mechanic merch. Hopefully, probably even a jacket. I'll try and organise you a jacket and stuff. It's pretty cool. I need to know, obviously, get the winner's size to get it made up. And I've got a little Teng Tools 1/4-inch drive socket set to go in. I'm going to go and see Brandon at Teng Tools and see if I can twist his arm for some more stuff to go in. So it's turning out that it could well be quite a sizable prize. You know, a fair few $100s, if not maybe $1,000 worth of gear. You know, so we'll keep adding to it as the year goes on. I might have a chat with Everfast and see if they'll throw in a few ratchet straps and stuff, and maybe some of the other you know, suppliers and supporters to the channel as well, and see if they'll donate, and we'll get a big pack put together for the winner. So I say again, people, if you haven't yet got your Andy Mechanic official mug, and there's quite a few variations, and you can, the good thing about Zazzle is you can actually modify them and choose your own color schemes, and you know, whether you want the big thermos ones or whatever. Anyway, there's heaps of stuff. You can even just buy I think it was like a $6 keyring, Andy Mechanic keyring. I haven't got one here, they're in the office, to get yourself in that draw. It doesn't have to be a mug. And you know, send me through the selfie. I have to get the selfie to put you in the draw. All right, you don't go in the draw until I get the selfie. That's the key. You can't just place the order and sit on the mug, and because I won't know about it. There you go, look. Almost. Andy Mechanic at live.co.uk. You've missed out a dot. Okay, where are we at? Let's do another one, and then right. So we've done the Simon Roll CG125, and we talked about Hugh Owen, good friend of mine. Right, the NASCAR race, one for Keith, one Civilman. It was the brake light question. Ah, yes. Oh, okay. Well, we covered that. Oh, I even walked over to the bike to show you. Oh, you might have to wait for the live stream and watch it again, but I'll do a quick summary for you. So I don't know whether it's a brake pedal or a brake lever. If it's a brake pedal, then you can use a proper brake light switch that fits. They're pretty standard across all motorcycles. It's a mechanical switch. It's a pull switch. Has a little spring, and you can make a little bracket and attach it to the brake lever, and then when you pull the lever down, it pulls the switch out and creates a circuit which you can then have to power the brake light. If it's a hydraulic rear brake, which is highly unlikely that it is, or a hydraulic front handlebar lever brake, then you can get a little pressure switch, but you need to make sure you get the right thread, and it replaces the banjo bolt off the master cylinder, and again, that goes closed circuit when it achieves a certain pressure. And a lot of motorcycles use that nowadays. If, however, it's a cable-operated front brake, then the best option, as Simon has said earlier on, will be to replace the brake lever with one from, for example, a CG125, and because they have an integral switch built in. You can order the switch and the perch and the lever and just change the whole thing, and again, you'll have that ability to provide a brake light to the rear of the bike. A brake light to the bike, not the rear of the bike. Okay, so there you go. Pretty simple. There's different options. If you want to send me an email through, you can with some pictures, and I'll help you further. The email address, just to confirm, is Andy Mechanic, that's one word, at live, live.co.uk. Okay, and that's the same email address to send through your selfies with your mug as well. Right, I'm going to have a bite. Sorry, I'm going to have a bite. Look at that. It's brilliant. They call that a sausage roll here in New Zealand. In England, the sausage roll is about a quarter the size. This is massive. That's good. That's really good. I'm going to spark up now and get going. Energy will come back. Duke of the Dales. Oh, it was just the lens that popped out. I'm sure the bike is the same as your KTM behind you. Okay. We'll have a little look later on. I want to do a tour of the workshop. In fact, let's do it now, because before I forget, hang on, I'm just going to unplug the old phony phone and turn the camera around. Okay, let's have a little look. It could be, I don't know. So that's the one. Has it got a part number on? Oh, it's got some little cracks in it, look. It's got some little stress cracks, I don't know why. But it says on there, 220, oh hang on, terrible camera work, Mr. Young. 220152, it says on there. And that is the original KTM backlight. It's what came with the bike. So, don't know. What else have we got? Ah, yes. Whilst we're doing a walk around, there is Miss Forge June. Fantastic. Jared is going to be laughing his head off right now. So, yes. Oh, and whilst we're doing a little wander around, more stickers. I found some more stickers that Steve Robb sent me. So I've put them on the toolbox. Look at that. And there's some more here. Sorry, Tool Girl Lilli's bike, you're in the way. Oh, there you go, look. So I've sorted out the toolbox, put a few more on. We've got Jonathan's sticker there from Badgertronics, MCR, Jacko's Small Engines, S&A Auto, SMA. Good morning, Eric. Calvin's Corner, Ichiban Moto, Scanner Dana, and of course the infamous Steve Robb, and some Nobby stickers as well, because they sent me a lot of stickers through to go on the various bits and pieces around the workshop. So very good. More on the Nobby stuff in the future for sure. Oh, what else have we got? I don't know. Have you seen the bench grinder? The grinder is now installed, and it works. Look at that. Fantastic. What else? I don't know. What else have we done? I don't think there's much else at the moment. No. Oh, these are the straps. Hang on. Got to make sure there's no address on the box. Look at all those. And there's another box full as well. It's fantastic. Right, back to the bench. Holy crap. Look at the size of that bumblebee. Little bastard. It's getting close. Right, we're going to reverse round. There we go. We're back. It's very weird seeing the live stream on the laptop while I'm walking around the workshop. Right, I'm just going to plug you back in again because this phone's going to go flat. We're at 29%, so it has lost some power actually. Oh. Okay, I'm back. Very, very terrible live stream camera work and stuff, but it's a massive bumblebee as well. Okay, where are we at? Nobby Noble. Morning, Nobby. He will come back with a black eye, lol. Oh, God, are we that far behind? Is that when it's going to be breakfast? Holy oh no, maybe not. Mike Adams, like you, I don't purposely hunt things out, but I work for a demolition company. Oh, that'd be cool. Knocking things down all the time. And I've gotten quite guilty of bringing things home. I wouldn't blame you. There'd be all sorts of stuff. What I am looking for is some old, switch gear and big amp gauges and stuff from the old substations and things, that kind of thing. I just want to get something put around here that I can wire up and use for, like, a big switch for power on, like a Frankenstein switch. Something like that would be pretty cool to have in the workshop. Or maybe maybe have an amp gauge so we can see how much current the workshop is using at any one time. Get the electrician to wire that into the supply. That'd be really cool. Now then, where are we now? Jason Bryan. Hi Andy, how's everyone doing today? Well, we're actually doing okay. It's an hour and 35 minutes in and we're still rumbling on. There's loads of questions still to answer. Simon Roll, that was very Yorkshire. Stand clear, woman. Oh, she's pretty much used to my phrases. Richie, mate. Morning, Andy. Soon you'll be a gardener for that hair. Soon you'll need a gardener for that hair, not a barber. I think you're right. But John has said that he will be here, hopefully, next weekend. So I've just got to survive another week and grow it a little bit longer. Believe it or not, I'm actually getting used to having long hair. It's weird, it really is. But it's very scruffy if you don't do anything with it. Mike Adams, I salvaged a 64 cubic foot steel framed box with a beat up stainless steel liner that was used for scrap metal in a machine shop. Wow, that's a big box. Good man. Simon Bedell, Andy Mechanic at live.co.uk. Correct, no it's not. It's Andy Mechanic at live, live.co.uk. There you go. Mike Adams, I took out the stainless and converting it into a small outside storage station. I'm replacing the stainless with wood. Man, yeah, that actually is bloody big. 64 cubic feet. That's massive. What's that? 10, 6. Yeah, it would make a good wood shed, a good wood store, wouldn't it? I need one of those at the moment for all the firewood. Hang on, bear with me. I can't let this thing get cold. I really can't. It'll be sacrilege. Oh my word, there's loads. Mike Adams, excuse me, I meant a small storage building. Yeah, it sounds fantastic. Duke of the Dales. Oh no, same bike, but a different back end. I will email you photos anyway, so you can see the different back. Yeah, that'd be cool. We do have some LC4 640 LC4 Dukes around here in New Zealand, so you might be able to go on from a wreckers. The one Silverman, sorry Andy, but I have to go and enjoy the sunshine and do some work. Oh, it'd be so nice to be sat out in the sunshine around this freezy cold workshop at the moment. No worries, one Silverman. Hopefully the information I've given you has been of some kind of help. Once you get it done, why not flick some pictures through, or beforehand if you need any more help, and then we can let the viewers know how you got on. It'd be cool. Jim Haynes, there is an American company called Hopkins that makes a filtering fuel funnel for water and dirt, and it really works, called MR Funnel Portable Fuel Filler. They have different sizes and work great. So there you go. There's your solution to your lawnmower. When you're filling it up in the future, you could use one of those MR funnels. That would be cool. Or Hopkins, one of the Hopkins funnels. The one Civilman. Yes, thank you. Cool. Okay, now, believe it or not, I think I've caught up finally with all the... Oh no, Duke of the Dales, do you still have family back here in Yorkshire? I do, yes. Mum lives just outside York. Ollie, I'm not sure where he is at the moment. He's either Malton, Scarborough or York. And I think Phil's down south somewhere. I mean down south as in South England, south. So not in Yorkshire. But both Mum and my youngest brother are in the York area, I believe. Now, I had a very important meeting at a pub the other day with Jared. And Jared is from, as you know, from Forge and Forge, New Zealand, which is Trosco Limited, from memory. And they're based at East Tamaki in Auckland. And they supply all the Forge products for New Zealand. And he's a really good guy and he looks after me very much. And he supplied me a pack. And in that pack was a beanie. Now, I don't normally wear beanies, but it might help to get rid of some of this sort of side hair stuff going on if I can tuck it up underneath. And it may not look quite so bad. How's that? Is that going to work? I'm not a beanie kind of a person, but you know. There you go. I'm going to sort this camera out once and for all. It's just, I think it's just a bit too low. There we are. How's that? So, I've got my Forge beanie on today, but I think it's something that probably the Tool Girls will adapt to at some point. It's a bit warmer than the Tang cap, I must admit. So, one civil man, I will send photos, but there will be a lot of hate because I am 12 and not particularly good at this stuff. What? Okay. Well, I didn't realize you were 12 years old. Wow. Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, Jim Haynes, MR as in Mr. Funnel. Ah, Mr. Funnel. Simon Roll, looking a bit like the late Lord Bath with that hair. Yes, I know. It's horrific. And Barber John was scheduled to be here today, and he's let me down again. He messaged me. I messaged him earlier on the live stream, and he messaged me back and said, can't make it. Beanie hat looks better. Cool. Well, we'll stick with that then. Cheers, Jared. That works. And it's warmer. That's all that matters. Robert Hickey. Look up Ian Anderson. I'd rather look up Gillian Anderson, to be honest. From the band Jethro Tull, and you'll get the joke. All right then. Ian Anderson. Bear with me. Ian Anderson, Scottish musician. Images. Holy crap. Well, there's lots of pictures here, some of which he's got hair and some of which he has no hair whatsoever. Yes. Yes. Shaggy dog style, really, isn't it? The old stuff. Holy moly, it's not going to end up like that. God. There's one picture there that looks very similar to mine at the moment. Oh my God. Well, I think he decided at one point to go bald. Because the new pictures, he has no hair whatsoever. Completely bald. He's quite grumpy. He looks quite grumpy. Oh, has he got any hair there? Nah. Looks like he shaved it all off. Which is, of course, what I will be doing at some point in the future. As it starts to thin, no doubt. Right. Okay, we've got any more questions? I don't know. No. We've done it. We're at the bottom, which means it's time for a coffee. Have I got anything else for you? We've done the ratchet straps. We've done the beanie. That's done. And it's warm, which is good. We've finally got some breakfast, which is also good. Oh, brown sauce. Okay. Richie, mate, what's it like finding places to ride in New Zealand? Here in Adelaide, I know only one legal track. Well, as you well know, I've done a lot of trail riding. Well, I think I've done a lot of trail riding here in New Zealand. There's plenty of tracks around, to be honest, plenty of legal tracks. They call them paper roads over here, whereas in England they call them green lanes. Some landowners think that paper roads aren't legal rights of way, just like some people in England think that green lanes are not legal rights of way, which they definitely are for vehicles. Your local council in England is claiming money every year from government per mile of green lane, and therefore, if they're claiming the money, and the money comes from your road tax for your car, it should be accessible for said vehicle. Anyway, so some farmers, some landowners tend to block these just like they do in England, which causes a bit of a problem. You've got to do a bit of research to find out where they are. And yes, there's a lot more that I haven't yet ridden. and some of them are great here in New Zealand because they're in the middle of nowhere. Some of them are really, you get to pretty close to mountains and stuff as well. So it's quite interesting, but quite amazing terrain to what you would get in the UK. Hang on, there's more. Connor K, almost time to go to the pub. Connor, don't let me hold you up going to the pub. Pub is important. Simon Raw, you still have more hair than me, and I'm 35. Lost mine at 30. Believe it or not, I've got more hair than Benjamin, my lad. He gets really grumpy about it as well. But he wears a crash helmet every day. He's always riding his bike, and of course, when you're putting crash helmets on it, every time it pulls a few hairs out. So he's got quite a receding hairline, this poor Ben. Feel very sorry for him. He's quite fair-haired as well. He gets that from Mrs. Mechanic. It's not bad, but if I get it cut, you will see a bit of a bald patch starting to develop at the back, which is most worrying, to be honest. But and also when I'm welding, I get a lot of welding splatters, sparks and stuff get through the helmet and singe my hair. So of course that probably kills off a few hair follicles at the same time. Oh man, that's a good breakfast. Mike Adams, if you're interested, I'll send you before and after pictures of the steel box to small storage when I'm done with it. Yes, that'd be great, Mike. Send it through on an email, and again, I can include it in the live stream. I know it's a bit basic holding my phone up to the camera. It's very old school, but it sort of works quite well actually. Very simple, and I can do it real time, and I don't need to do any. Well, I can't edit a live stream anyway afterwards, so it's sort of the only way I can think of doing it. Duke of the Dales. Did you ever do any green laning near me in Wensleydale in the Yorkshire Dales? Yes, I did. I did lots of green laning in the Yorkshire Dales. And I have all the maps, all the survey maps, all marked up of all the green lanes, both actually in Cumbria, so the Lake District, the Yorkshire Dales, and the North Yorkshire Moors. The North Yorkshire Moors were the ones that I would normally use on a daily basis for the business. We did a lot of quad biking tours and stuff around there. And before I left the UK, we had 130 miles of known green lanes that were accessible by vehicles on the North Yorkshire Moors, which I used to love going out to. That was sort of my home, was being out on the moor. The Yorkshire Dales and the Lake District, we would go across probably 4, maybe 5 times a year with groups of vehicles, and I guide them around the green lanes in those areas, which I very much enjoyed because we had pub lunches and pub dinners and stuff, and we'd probably have 10 or 12 vehicles in a convoy, and of course we'd have some problems. Vehicles would break down. I think we changed wheel bearings and prop shafts and all sorts of stuff en route, on the side of a mountain, and you had to just make do with what you had. And sometimes, you couldn't fix the vehicle. You didn't have the parts. We had a cam belt snap on one vehicle, and I remember towing that down the mountain. We had an 8. Fortunately, it was one of our instructors, Simon. I've forgotten his surname. Simon Bavistoff, I think it was. Anyway, he had a little Suzuki, cam belt snapped, wasn't the safe engine, bent a valve. But his vehicle, I'd made him a bumper, and we welded some lugs on the front, so my standard A-frame fit that I made for it, the towing A-frame, and I happened to have one with me. So I was able to tow him down the mountain on the A-frame, which was most interesting. Great fun and a good challenge. But yeah, I won't say hundreds of days, but probably nearly 100 days of green laning between the Yorkshire Dales and the Lake District, and for over a 10, 12-year period. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and yes, done lots over there, and I know where they all are. Although the sad thing is, the vast majority of them have probably been closed by the councils now. I haven't been following it, but I was well known to the media for doing that green laning. I was on the news, I was in newspapers, I was all sorts of bad stuff. The media used to slate me for it. But at the end of the day, what they never seemed to understand was that they are public roads. And the law states in the UK, once a road, always a road. And if a farmer blocks the road, you have a legal right of diversion where you're allowed to go around the obstacle in order to continue your rite of passage. And the rite of passage is a very strong law in the UK, in UK law legislation. And if you cause any damage to the ground whilst doing the diversion, the landowner can claim off the local council, because at the end of the day, the blockage shouldn't have been there and they are paid to clear it. So it's a win-win for the user, to be honest. But unfortunately, the media never saw that, and they were constantly slating me and my customers for causing damage to the environment. You know, like the M1 doesn't cause damage to the environment, you know. Anyway, whole different life period back then. Ooh, got a message. Well, that's nothing for you guys to hear. Now then, Richie mate. Wow, nothing like that here. Simon Roll, I'd love a copy of the maps. I bet you would. I believe there is a green lane runs from the back end of Durham to Cumbria, but I've never found it. Yeah, I think that might be the one that I did years and years and years ago with my friend Peter Ainsworth. And it was an old Roman road, but it had been grassed over and you couldn't really see it anymore. We did ride most of it. I don't remember getting right to the end of it. But the only way we could follow it is we just basically followed the walkers, because there was a footpath ran along. People treated it like a footpath. But I could be wrong. I'm only going from memory. It might be completely the wrong road altogether. If you want to send me an email through, Simon, with where you think it might run, and I'll look at the maps and I'll maybe take some pictures of the maps for you, and to see if it's recorded on mine. I didn't do any green laning around the Durham area. Mine was more in the middle of the Lake District. So I'm not sure if I can help you or not. But Stanmore Summit. Okay, well, like I said, send me a picture of a map through, and just give me a rough idea of where you think it might run, and I'll see if I've got any kind of record of it in my archives. That's good. It's getting cold though. I can't be having that. What are we on? An hour and 52. Woohoo, we're getting close. 31 viewers. You see, people don't like me watching me have my breakfast, but I'm starving. And this is getting cold. I think we're about there, people. Oh, one more thing. Jared did give me some more stuff, so hang on. So, just before we sign off, I don't know what Jared was thinking. Maybe he was trying to send me a message. So I'm not sure if he's seen inside my ute or not, but he sent me this in the last box of goodies, or bag of goodies. And this is some Forge windscreen or glass cleaner. Now, he must have known, because there's a lot of dead bugs smeared across the inside of my windscreen in the ute. Because, you're driving along, a little bug bounces around and you just squish it, don't you? That's what you do. That's what I do. But then you forget about it. So then there's, the bugs come off on your finger and you wipe it on your trousers or on the back of the seat or something. But the smear's still on the windscreen. So there's quite a few of these smears built up. So he must have spotted that. And that's why he's given me some of this. So I've got my windscreen to clean. So I've got that to use. But then, in the bag as well, was this stuff. Now this stuff, I'll read it out. It's an active +5 multi-foam cleaner, is what they call it. And it's a Forge R560. And he must have known, because in the ute, when you live on the road like I do, your car is sort of it's your office sometimes. Christ, it can be where you sleep for the night if you running late for whatever reason. Not which is good, but every now and again, sometimes you've got to know when to draw the line and just stop driving because you're too tired. So inside the car, you know, you get this layer of crud that builds up. You all know it, you know, where you put your keys and stuff, little fragments of dirt and things build up. And when I had the Commodore, I did actually clean it twice. It took me about half a day to clean it, but it didn't stay clean for very long. So he's given me this stuff, thinking that maybe, just maybe, the inside of my ute needs a good clean. And he says, oh, you just spray it on. Just spray it on. Foamy foam stuff comes out, and it munch, all the dirt, and then you give it a clean off with a cloth. What does it say on here? Look. Rub off with a clean cloth. Do not use in direct sunlight. And that's about it. Easy. So he's given me that to clean my truck. We'll give it a go. It won't be on camera, but I'll report back as to how good it was. And he even gave me a little pack of windscreen washers. Look at that. Pretty cool. So again, I'll put one of those in the little tank, and we'll just see how good it is. Yeah. Right. One more mouthful. I think we're going to be signing off very shortly. No more questions. Now, one more thing. For those, still coffee. For those that have recently joined us, there is an update on the competition that's going on at the moment, which is to do with the Andy Mechanic merch. And of course, you've all seen now the infamous Andy Mechanic official mugs that are going out and about. Those are available from Zazzle. Have I still got the thing on my screen? I don't know if I have. Yes, I have. There you go. Look at that. Very organized. That is the website address. Is it going to focus? There you go. Look. If you go on to that, that will take you directly to the Andy Mechanic official merch store on Zazzle.com. It's called Andy Mechanic YouTube is the store name, and you can get all sorts of stuff on there. There's the Andy Mechanic mugs. There's the standard mugs. There's also like the thermos ones as well that you can get now, the stainless ones, which are really cool, and which means you can transport your hot beverage into your car and take it to work and drink it at work and things, and it won't spill if it knocks over because it's got a little top on it. There's the Andy Mechanic official Tool Girl leggings, which you can get your partner. Again, don't forget to send me a picture through of those, and I'll put it on the channel. And there's also key rings and other bits and pieces, and that shop, the products are going to grow as time comes. I'm just in the process. I did submit a request, a design for a mask, you know, because of this COVID thing. A few of the viewers asked me to design an Andy Mechanic mask that they could wear, face mask, safety PPE mask, whatever you call it. I did design 2 different types. Both of those designs got rejected by Zazzle initially, because they said I shouldn't use the YouTube logo, but they're a little bit late. Oh my word. They're a little bit late with that because there's quite a few products I've already got the YouTube logo on, obviously. So I've appealed, and we'll wait and see what happens. If not, I don't know what we're going to do. I'll have to come up with some kind of a plan on that, because I know quite a few of you want them. But if you do purchase any of the Andy Mechanic merch and support the channel by doing so, because it does create a small revenue for me, then you send me through a selfie or a picture of your merch, ideally a selfie. I'd like to see you in the picture as well, and maybe in your shed, in your workshop. If not, with the bonnet of your car up and looking at your engine or something automotive or shed workshop type related. And I'll put you in the draw to win what is currently a growing prize. Forge, you're going to throw some stuff in, Forge New Zealand. I've got some Teng tools to go in, and plus some Andy Mechanic merch will go in there, and I'll put you one of these jackets in, but I won't order it until I get your size for the lucky winner. And I'm going to try and twist Brandon's arm at Teng Tools to throw some more stuff in from Teng as well. So it's going to be quite a sizable prize. And the minimum you'd need to do would be to buy, I think the cheapest thing on there is a keyring. Buy yourself a keyring, send me the selfie through on an email, andymechanic@live.co.uk, and I'll put your name in the draw. And we'll do the draw live. I'll get one of the tool girls down. I'll write little bits of card for everybody that's, God, there could be hundreds, but anyway, we'll put all your names in a pot, and we'll get one of the tool girls to pull out the lucky winner. And then I'll contact you and get your address and everything. Because obviously I'll have your email address, won't I? Okay, well, so that's it. If you haven't yet got yourself an official Andy Mechanic mug, now is the time. Go onto that website, place your order, and it should be with you, depending on where you are in the world, it should be with you within a few days. Some have arrived really quick, and maybe a few weeks if you're like back and beyond like me in New Zealand. Now then, I've got a few more. Duke of the Dales, thanks for the live stream, Andy. Have a great week. Cheers all. Cheers, Duke of the Dales. Sorry the backlight wasn't the same as yours. John Dyer, what's in that you're eating? It looks like a burger in, yeah, it's what New Zealand, it's almost all gone now, but it's what New Zealand call a sausage roll. For a Yorkshireman like me, it's not a sausage roll at all, but it's food and I'm hungry. And it's strong. Okay, so it's pork sausage meat, and then they put like peas and stuff in there, which I'm not really a fan of, but it tastes all right. It does the job. Breakfast is done. I can crack on with some work shortly. De papier flignar. Did I miss everything again? Pretty much you did miss absolutely everything on the live stream because Andy's just having a wind down, finishes breakfast, almost finished his coffee. He's going to have one last cigarette with his viewers and then he's going to sign off. And we're at 2 hours and 1 minute, which is just mental for a live stream. I'm trying to think if I've got any more pictures sent through. In fact, I did have a question. Let me see if I can find the question. It was an email. Okay, so, oh my word, it's a long one. You ready for this? We'll finish off with this one, then we'll call it a day. Hi, Andy. Oh my word, it's the particular brand that I'm not allowed to have on the channel, but physically it's not on the channel, so maybe this will work. Hi Andy, 2008 Yamaha V-Star 1300 Tourer CTXB in Canada. Don't know what CTXB stands for. It has the stock exhaust, a Cobra power flow intake, and an ECU flash by Ivan's Performance Products in the US. So it's been pretty heavily modified as regards power output. It has a hesitation when the bike is not under load and is just off a fully closed throttle. Okay, so you just initially come to set off and it hesitates. It had the hesitation even before the ECU reflash. Ivan, who does the reflash, wants the O2 sensor permanently disconnected after the reflash, which I have done. Okay, so the bike's working in open loop all the time if it's not going to get a signal from the O2 sensor. What concerns me there a little, first of all, is if the ECU doesn't see the O2 sensor, it's likely to default to a fixed mapping, a safe map to get you home. Plus, it's probably going to flag a fault code because it's not going to see a signal from the O2 sensor if it's smart. So you need to find out if that's happening or not. I've had the valve clearances checked and adjusted, a throttle body sync, new spark plugs and put injector cleaner on several occasions into the gas. No change to the hesitation. I have cleaned the throttle body butterflies and checked the intake rubber boots for tightness and obviously perishing as well. I suspected the TPS, yeah, because they do wear on the track, was faulty, but checked it out and reset it to 0.68 volts. I should have checked what the voltage was before I removed the TPS, but I forgot. Did you not mark it with a paint pen? And actually, in fact, the manufacturer usually puts a little paint pen mark on there from the factory. After I had set it to 0.68 volts, it lined up with a white paint mark that was already across the TPS throttle body. So I suspect the voltage is now the same. Yes, correct. Or very close to the same as before I removed it. There was no change to the hesitation after I calibrated the TPS. The resistance was okay at 4.39 ohms. Service manual states 4 to 6 ohms. Yep, bang on. And 0.63 to 0.73 volts output at idle or throttle off, closed. That is all done and correct to specs, but the hesitation persists. As long as the engine come back, we did a little reconnect there. What's going on? As long as the engine is under load, even slightly, it runs great. Back off the throttle and the hesitation starts. Others on the Yamaha forum that have had the ECU reprogrammed and have the Cobra power flow and stock exhaust do not experience the hesitation. I have contacted Ivan, but he did not have an explanation. Do you have any ideas? You said you checked your valve clearance. Have you checked your valve timing? So you need to check your valve timing. And what I would also suggest that you do is check your ignition timing as well and see if that's within spec. It might just be that it's slightly out to what it should be. Either of those two would make a difference. Just to eliminate problems, temporarily take out the air filter and see if it makes any difference. It might make it better, it might make it worse. What I would also do is, now then, 2008. So I'm not that familiar with that particular year of bike. Is it fuel injected? It might be, although it probably is still carburetor. I know you've had an ECU reflash, but you might mean that it's like the ECU that just runs the ignition side rather than the fueling. I'm just trying to find a point on here which tells me for oh, mind you, you've got O2 sensors, so no, it has to be fuel injection. Okay. Fuel pressure. Get a fuel pressure gauge put on your pump. It might be that your fuel pressure is just slightly down or slightly high. So it's worth looking at doing the fuel pressure side of it as well. Other than that, don't know. Not without seeing the bike. It looks like you've done all the basics already. And like I say, you shouldn't have that problem. The difference between under load and not under load, well, the only way that the ECU senses load is by throttle position through your TPS. That's its input for load is your throttle position. So if you're under load, chances are your throttle is open slightly more than it would have been. You could, if you change the position of the TPS, I mean, you've got a datum to go back to anyway, so there's no harm in doing this, and just crank it up to the top end of the spec. Say put it at 0.75 or maybe slightly higher, because what that will do is it'll richen up the mixture slightly, and you might find the hesitation disappears. Or go the other way and lean it off. We don't know yet because we don't know what your fuel pressure is, so we don't know. We know what injection duration is, but you've got no O2 sensor now, so the ECU has no idea of the actual combustion, the mixture that's going through the cylinders. So you're going to have to just play around with that TPS a little bit, and at least the hesitation will get worse, or it'll get better in one direction or the other, and that should give us some direction. If you do all of that and then flick me an email through with some of your findings, I'll try and give you some more direction on it. But I can't elaborate too much, and I'm only going by knowledge that I had, that I've got pre-working for that particular manufacturer. I can't use my current knowledge to assist you. That wouldn't be fair on Yamaha. Now then, what do we got? Oh my word. Oh, there's quite a few more. Sorry, I've lost a few of these comments. Hang on, bear with me. I actually ordered my mug last stream and I thought it would cost €20 for shipping. Holy crap. Then I found out that Zazzle ships in Europe and it arrived yesterday. That's fantastic. Send me a photo, send me a selfie, and I'll put you in the competition. Well done, and thank you for ordering one. I do appreciate it. Like I say, we've sold a lot of those mugs so far, and it's turning out that it's going to be a really good competition. The prize fund is growing by the day at the moment. I'm going to try and make it as big as I possibly can for you. And I might even throw in some Andy Mechanic sort of stuff from the workshop, which is obviously not available publicly. It's a one-off item. So, you know, a bit of memorabilia for you as well. Herman, spam, 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 spam. Now, it wasn't spam. It was pork in my sausage roll. Car Guy 72. Take it easy, Andy, and have a great day. Thank you very much, Car Guy 72. I'll see you next time. We'll send a pic from my garage as soon as I get around to it. Good man. Don't rush it. Take a few. Send the best one. Make sure it's nice and clear on the imagery. And, you know, take a bit of time to set the picture up. It might be the winning photo. You never know. Brian Graham. Loving the Smurf look. Are you not allowed a haircut yet? It's late Saturday night in York, and there is not a Smurf on the street anywhere. Well, Jared down at Forge gave me a new beanie, and it's warmer than the 10 Tools cap. So I thought, because he gave me a beanie, I should wear it on the live stream. And to be fair, I don't get the problem of all the hair sticking out, because it's flattened down now, but it was pretty bad. I do still need a haircut. Barber John was supposed to be here today, but has bailed on me yet again. Hopefully we can reschedule for next Sunday. Mike Adams, just an off-the-wall thought. Did you know if you put a Viagra in a can of potted meat, you get Vienna sausages? Funny guy. Oh, smoke in the eye. That's no good. Depapier Fligna. Also, sorry for maybe being kind of rude last stream. I really do love your work. Not at all, mate. It's a live stream. You can say anything you want, and if it's constructive criticism, I take it on the chin and do my best to improve. So whatever it was, it's not a problem. I don't mind. It's fine. Mike Adams, it's Herman's fault. He mentioned spam, lol. Simply Diagnostics. Hi, Andy, everyone. Hope you're all well. I'm good. I'm really good. I've got a lot of work to get done today, and we're just about to sign off, actually. We're at 2 hours and 12 minutes, which is ludicrous, as always. Richie, mate, have a good one, mate. Have to go. Right, that's it. I have to go as well. It's been great having you all on board. Thank you very much. Don't forget to grab yourself, if you haven't already got one, an Andy Mechanic mug from www.zazzle.co.uk or zazzle.com. Just put in there Andy Mechanic YouTube, one word, and it'll take you through to the store. Grab yourself a mug. If you haven't already done so, send me through a selfie with your mug in your workshop or in your car or under your bonnet. Send it on an email, andymechanic@live.co.uk, live.co.uk, and I'll put you in the draw to win a lot of stuff, which the prize fund is currently getting bigger and bigger by the day. Okay, that's it. I'll see you around, guys. Thanks for joining me. I don't know how good this live stream really was, but you're the judge of that, not me. See you around. Cheers. Over and out.